What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Terrier Owner YouTube channel. Josh here with TerrierOwner.com. We appreciate you guys coming back to the channel. Today, guys, Luna and I wanted to make you a quick video that she felt was important for all of you new Jack Russell owners to understand. And it's going to be all about how to build trust with your Jack Russell. This could apply, guys, whether you're getting ready to adopt a Jack Russell from a breeder, maybe you're getting ready to rescue a little bit older Jack Russell, or maybe you've already adopted your Jack Russell and you just want some extra tips on how you can build up the trust faster. Either way, that is what this video is all about, so stick around, it's coming up next. Alright guys, if you are new to the Terrier Owner YouTube channel, be sure to give us a thumbs up on this video. It helps Luna and I out here immensely, get seen by other individuals with Jack Russells on the channel and on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This channel is all about helping new Jack Russell owners learn how to take care of their dogs, learn some tips and tricks along the way, and have some fun watching Luna and I here do some silly stuff sometimes. And the last little announcement, something that I always say, be sure to check out TerrierOwner.com. The link is going across the bottom of the screen now. That is the blog for this YouTube channel where we write all about Jack Russell Terriers and some other frequently asked dog questions. Check it out. You won't be disappointed there. Otherwise, guys, let's jump into tip number one about building trust with your Jack Russell. And tip number one, guys, is start communication and socialization with your Jack Russell Terrier right away, right out of the gates, right when you get home. Let your Jack Russell get to know you. Let them get to know your family, your kids, your spouse, whoever lives in the house, other pets. Let them start exploring and get some one-on-one bonding time with everybody, not just you. For your Jack Russell to have full trust in you, they need to also be comfortable with their environment. If you're adopting from a breeder, you're typically stripping them from their brothers and sisters and their mom at that point. So it takes them a little bit of time. They have some separation anxiety and things that they're dealing with. So just get them comfortable and start that process. Plus, guys, establishing that communication early is going to start cementing that you're the pack leader with your Jack Russell. It's just a good foundation. You can start right out of the gates with your dog. So, right when you get home, regardless of the situation with the adoption, how you're doing it, start communicating and start letting your Jack Russell get comfortable with the environment. Guys, tip number two is pretty easy, and it's finding your Jack Russell's comfort zone and not pushing it. Now, this is kind of tricky when this is a puppy. They don't really have a comfort zone per se. They just want to be held. They sleep a lot, they want love, and they follow you everywhere just like they do when they're 2 years old, 5 years old, whatever at that point. But as they get older, you can start to understand their comfort zones, and this is where building or breaking the trust might come in. For Luna here, she doesn't really like being picked up by people outside of our family. And she almost will cower behind us looking for that protection, and that's part of the trust being built. So once you start realizing, what your Jack Russell is comfortable with and what they enjoy, what kind of comfort they need, you can provide that and not push those boundaries. So that's my second top tip for you guys, is understand what makes them comfortable and uncomfortable and provide it. Number three, guys, is not kisses, even though it looks like it probably is. But number three, guys, is kind of like number two. And it is show your Jack Russell that you can protect them as well. I think we can all agree that this is one of the most fearless dogs that exist. They're really not scared of anything, but even though it feels like they're the protector of you and your family, trust can be built and it can go a long way if they know that you have their back too. Luna still has some things that she doesn't like. Like I just mentioned, she doesn't like being picked up by other people. She doesn't get necessarily aggressive or anything like that, but she does look at whoever from my family is around and just kind of goes near our legs, and she wants to know that, hey, if I don't like a situation, I can come to you and you will make it better for me. She also doesn't like thunderstorms, so not putting them in a situation where they have to cower in a corner during one is probably a good idea. And on walks and things like that, she still hates things like cars that are going by very fast, bicycles, and that's when she kind of hides and just kind of looks up and stares at me. And it's not that they really need anything from you except reassurance that it's okay, let's keep finishing this walk. Show that you can protect them, even though it's a well-known fact that they're the main protector of that relationship. All right, guys, number four on my list, you can start this, when you're Jack, man, she just wants to be front and center today. Number 4 on my list, guys, you can start when your Jack Russell's a puppy. You can do this today. You can do this at any point, but kind of the same thing that applies with interacting with your children is just give them whatever time you have that's uninterrupted. I'm not saying you have to look deep into their soul and sit on the couch and just stare them in the eyes, but give them 5 minutes a day where it's not your phone dinging or during a hectic time when tons of commotion is going on, but 5 minutes a day where you just kind of, stop what you're doing, pet them, have a stupid little conversation with them. Those little things are what builds the trust. I think she's going to sleep. Those little things are what start building the trust and the relationship for the long-term bond. So try and find time where it's just you and your dog. It doesn't even have to be 5 minutes if you can't provide 5 minutes. It could be 2 minutes. It could be exercise when you're just chatting with them, going for a walk. But find a way to provide that and the trust will form because of it. All right, guys, number 5, and you should know this about me by now, but I actually break this rule, so I apologize, Luna, that I don't allow it. But number 5, I could see why it builds trust so easily, but let your dog sleep with you in the bed. I know that this isn't going to be like conversation time with your dog or even necessarily playtime, but I can see the standpoint of why this would build trust. They're laying by you. It's a comfort thing. They feel protected. They feel like they're protecting you. It's kind of a two-way street where it's just cementing a better bond. Me personally, I guess I value sleep too much, and I just can't stand how she behaves in a bed and how long it takes her to get comfortable buried underneath all the blankets. But if you are struggling with trust, or maybe you adopted a rescue Jack Russell that's already 3 or 4 years old and you're pretty timid or scared that it's going to be a struggle to build trust with them, that would probably be a really good thing that could speed up the process, so to speak, for sure, I think. That's not scientific research by any means. It's just a pretty educated, common sense guess I'm going with. But give it a try if you're struggling and see if that helps. Number 6, guys, is so important that I have separate videos on this channel for. And we talked about this when we talked about tip number 1, but the separation anxiety phase is real with this dog. Again, if you're coming from a breeder, you're probably taking them from their family. They don't really know you yet, and when they get to know you, you go back to a regular work schedule or your regular life, and then they're just being left alone. So during the separation anxiety phase, you need to be patient, you need to remain calm, and make sure that you're not putting more negative attitude towards them during it, because dogs, if there's one thing that they know how to do like an expert, it's reading the room. And if your mood is reflecting poor attitude, no trust, or, no love, theirs is going to follow that. So if you want to build the trust, one of the first things you'll encounter is that separation anxiety phase with the howling and the screaming when you leave, or the chewing and the negative behaviors that are very frustrating. But it's so important that if you want that trust to cement, that you go through that phase accordingly and you understand that it's coming and that you can still provide comfort and be a good dog owner during those times. It's going to go a long way if you can act like that. Number 7, guys, is just be respectful to your dog. It kind of sums up everything we've talked about in this video so far. Be calm, use a good attitude with them, and they'll use a good attitude with you. This dog follows suit with what you're doing. They are attached to your leg everywhere you go. If you have a negative attitude or you're in a bad mood, they're not going to walk around disgruntled, but they know what's going on. If you want to play, they're going to play. If they have boundaries that you know not to cross, don't cross them. Basically, just exercise common sense with this dog, and the trust goes a long way. That goes for any dog, guys. It doesn't matter what you're adopting, but just be calm and respectful to them, the same way you want them to be towards you. I myself get frustrated with certain behaviors, right? Like when she jumps on friends and company, but the more you scold in those situations and don't use positive reinforcements, typically it doesn't really fix anything, right? So keep a calm and respectful relationship with your dog, and they're probably going to exercise that same courtesy back to you. And, guys, like I always say in these videos, I've owned 1 Jack Russell. Some of you have probably owned 10. We could have some breeders watching at this point for all I know. This channel has grown a lot, so I am by no means an expert over anybody else who could be watching. So I'm just here to give my advice because nobody else is really doing it. So drop comments below to help everybody else out on the channel. You know, your advice may go further than mine, so be sure to leave those comments about what you think would build trust with the Jack Russell Terrier. You know, interact with the community so everybody can learn, and then we all get better as dog owners in general. Otherwise, guys, we will see you in the next video next Sunday at 11 a.m. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.